yeah. Ball in my court, high step is a layup. My life like a movie, just keep moving, it's a trailer. Chefing in my kitchen, got me trying to get my cake up. I thank God for all this coming to me, not straight up.
How'd you feel about that Kyrie game winner?
It was a tough shot.
Tough shot?
Tough shot, but honestly, I mean, Kyrie's left-handed, so, I respect it.
He's left-handed?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I heard something about that, but he's really ambidextrous.
Oh, he's ambidextrous because his dad forced him to be a right-handed basketball player, but he was born left-handed, he shot left-handed growing up.
I mean, at the end of the day, he shoots jump shots with his right hand, which makes him a right-handed basketball player, but
yeah, but he's naturally left-handed though.
That's fine.
That's what he was born left-handed. So, I think left-handed.
I mean, but I see where he's coming from. Like, my right-hand floater is better than my left-hand floater. I think that happens to people. And I'm lefty,
I mean, Kobe Bryant, you can always develop your shot with the offhand. Kobe Bryant broke his right wrist, second year of his career, second or third year, and he just shot all lefty while he was healing. And that's how he was able to really shoot very well left-handed. Shot a left-handed three in a game. So you can always develop it, and if you do it at a young enough age, that can be your dominant hand.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about finishing around the rim and being ambidextrous, that's such an indicator that that's a person that works on their craft. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, he used to do drills with his godfather, Rod Strickland, where they would just spin the ball infinite amount of ways to make layups.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch highlights of Rod Strickland when he was in the league, he was not to the extent of Kyrie, but
they say he's one of the
incredible finisher.
They say he's one of the best players to ever make All-Star game.
Rod Strickland?
Yeah, New York City guy.
Yeah.
So he was tough.
It was tough. He was tough. Couldn't shoot.
Yeah.
Fucks up.
But he was tough in transition. Strong, got to the rim.
Yeah, super strong. 6'3", legit 6'3", very fast, very crafty, and incredible finisher. So.
Speaking of New York, how you feel about them Knicks, man? They're rolling. Rolling.
Where are they rolling to?
All those injuries and they're still winning?
Where are they rolling to, though?
To the Eastern Conference Finals. I've been telling you. I've been telling you.
You booking it?
If they get healthy, yeah.
You booking it if they get healthy?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So they're beating Milwaukee or Boston?
I mean, they got Mitch back now.
They're beating Milwaukee or Boston?
They could beat either of them. I like Milwaukee coming out the East in general.
Okay, so that's that. Then you can't be the Knicks then, because that's who they're going to go against, unless Milwaukee figures out a way to beat.
Boston's looking good though. I can't deny they're looking dominant.
Okay, so these are, you just said you got Milwaukee going out the East and Boston's looking dominant, but you still got the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference. So that doesn't make any sense.
I like the Knicks right now. I think they're rolling.
So they're going to beat one of those teams. That's
they will.
You got it booked.
Okay.
That's what you say.
We can go back. We can go. He's with us throwback.
Okay. All right.
I've been known to pull up my receipts. I don't know if you follow the 1-2 combo account.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
You ever seen me pull out receipts before? You ever see me do that? You don't see me do anything until you see me do something.
I don't even understand what that means.
Have you ever seen me pull out a receipt?
A legitimate receipt or like
draft receipts, things
figurative receipt.
Yeah, things I've seen said in the past.
Yeah, you do it all the time and you post it.
There you go. See?
So
you know who you're talking to.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, I mean.
So that'll be with the Knicks.
I guess I'm going to pull out this receipt when the Knicks lose in the first round. Potentially second round.
You really think the Knicks will lose in the first round?
I mean, what are they, the 4 seed right now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not an easy, that's at Cleveland. So, I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to lose, but if Cleveland beats them in the first round, I don't think that's a shock. Cleveland's playing really good basketball right now. Max Strus is a huge boost for them. They got 2 defensive juggernauts down there. I'm not saying that Cleveland's going to beat them, but I don't, if Cleveland beats them, I don't think anyone's going to be super, super shocked. Man, upset.
All right. What'd be more funny, though? The Heat beating the Celtics or the Cavs beating the Knicks? It's the Heat beating the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, if the Heat beat the Celtics, I mean, come on. The Celtics are the greatest offensive team in the history of the game up to this point right now.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, look, yeah,
so
not really though. Like they're not
Well, no, I know, but
Yeah,
statistically they
yeah.
are. So
Like-
like if they lost, it's going to be an upset.
right.
you
Like
know?
the Bulls and Warriors in their peaks were better offensive teams than the Celtics. I don't care what the numbers say.
Yeah, probably, but it's because the Bulls and the Warriors were so much better than the rest of the league
Right.
versus
You're talking about offensive
yeah,
rating.
It's just offensive rating.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the Celtics are playing incredible basketball
They
right
are.
now. Jaylen Brown's cooking,
Yeah,
and
he's looking like
so
their best
if
player.
they lost,
He's looking like their best player.
I've been saying that.
Oh, okay. Then we're in agreement there.
No, I've been saying that. Like, I think like I've said this before. Like Jason Tatum, when he's hot, he's impossible to guard, right? He's got a game that seems like it's a routine. He works on it, right? Consistently.
I've always said this about him.
I'm going to make my move. I'm going to do this. And it's either I make it or miss it. Nobody has a chance to make me change anything, right? The problem is that he's not an adaptable type player where if his shot's off, it fucks up everything. He doesn't know how to get easy buckets. And I think that's the thing with a lot of these players. When their shot's off, they can't get a dirty bucket. You know what I mean? You know what I mean when I say a dirty bucket? You know what I mean? Like scrap a way to still score. Like these dudes, right? They'll give you 40 or they'll give you 11. And like that's just a lot of these young players these days.
It seems like his game was built in a skill development lab. And Devin Booker is of that mold, and Bradley Beal is of that mold as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of these players are like that. You know, I think Paul George is like that as well too. You know, like these guys, it's just they just have
Paul
they
George
developed.
Paul George got better passing feel than those guys.
Okay, I'll give them that. But
Yeah.
like their individual offense, I'm really talking about. Like it's just like a bag of moves that I'm doing, and if they're not working, I guess I ain't got nothing else to rely on. That's how a lot of these players play, and it's like I think, you know, there was just a little bit more grit in the past generation where it's like, okay, my shot's not falling. Let me go into the post. Let me do this. Let me figure out. Let me get a bunch of offensive rebounds and get some buckets. Like guys in the past, superstars in the past, if they had a bad game, they still gave you 25, but they might go, 9 for 22. You know what I mean? Or 9 for 25 or something like that. Where it's like when a guy like Tatum or a guy like Booker has an off night, they only attempt 11 shots.
Yeah.
Like that's the bigger issue, Like
Yeah,
put them up, bro.
I agree with your point about dirty buckets and then going in the post when you're not feeling it. That's why I've been saying this for a while. I feel like the game today is more skilled than ever before, more athletic than ever before, but the feel for the game is probably slightly down, but overall the game is better.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I do think it's less enjoyable to watch though, slightly
Overall. You see what they're doing?
It doesn't feel as competitive. As
Have you seen what's been going on with the rule changes? One moment they said there was no directives, then there is directives, then
I
there's
haven't heard about that.
Yeah, because Adam Silver said there was no directives that that we're changing the way the game is going to be officiated, but the scores are going down crazy after the All-Star break, at least a lot of them. And we're good?
Yeah.
And now that they're kind of like saying that, yeah, we did change it pretty much. And everybody knew at the end of the day. So they're trying to bring defense back into the game at the end of the day.
They need to. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like the thing about it, like the NBA, I know there's popularity because it's being branded really, really well. Probably better than it's ever been branded. But I think the product in itself has been watered down. And I think people aren't watching full games anymore, but they're consuming the NBA brand through media so much more.
Mm-hmm.
So like it feels like it's bigger than it ever was before. But I don't think you're getting as many people that are like locked in, I want to watch an NBA game tonight, because it doesn't seem as competitive as it used to be, right? Maybe it is. But from what we see on the screen, it doesn't look as competitive. It looks like guys, I'm not saying they're giving up, but it feels like they think guys are too skilled offensively to really, really bother them defensively.
But they are more skilled offensively, right?
But even if they are, right? If you think it, right, you're psychologically checkmated, you know?
Like KD's gonna get the shot off no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, part of being a good defensive player is by having the mindset that you could do something and shut down that person. You know what I mean? And if you if you truly think that this dude is going to do it whatever, then you're not going to go as hard.
Yeah, and also a 1% difference in field goal percentage could mean the game, right?
Yeah.
Like it might not matter 9 times in a row.
Absolutely.
But it might matter that 10th
Yeah,
time.
I think like you gotta get into people mentally. That's how to stop people. Like I agree, offensively, maybe these guys are the most skilled that the game has ever seen,
And more athletic.
right? And more athletic. Maybe they are, but I also think they're the most mentally compromised. So if you figure out a way to break their rhythm, i.e., Devin Booker,
Bradley Beal,
Jason Tatum,
Yeah.
you can get these guys off their game and they'll shut themselves down.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I mean?
feel like the international players don't have that problem as much.
Yeah,
Their game has more flow to it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
But like that's also a skilled way of playing defense.
We're gonna go back to this.
I'm just saying. Those are ways that you're playing mental games with people. That is part of the skill component of defense. So
Do you think it's only the rule changes that need to be fixed, shall I say, or like there's other ways to?
yeah, I think that like culture needs to change. I think that's the main thing. I think the rule changes maybe can help change the culture.
Right.
But it's really the culture. Someone's got to come in. A team's got to come in, usher in defense. Like defense has to be like right now. In the first time, like I said to you, I think the first time in the history of the NBA, it is the equation for the most successful NBA team is a superb offense and a mediocre defense.
Not mediocre, good enough.
Yeah, mediocre. That's what mediocre means.
Mediocre is usually less than medium, right? If you look at the definition.
Mediocre is slightly above medium.
I want to Google that.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah, but keep talking.
Yeah. So a mediocre defense. So I think it's like 12. From 16 to 12. If you're in that range, it's the first time in the history where in the past it was the opposite.
Look. I just had it too. Keep going though.
Yeah, first time in the history. So
moderate or low quality, value, ability, or performance.
Moderate or
low quality.
Low quality.
Yeah. It's like a little bit under. In my opinion, I always thought it meant a little bit under medium.
Okay, I always thought it was a little bit over.
Either
ways,
yeah.
But like first time in the history of the game where it used to be the opposite, where to win was you have to have a superb defense a medium.
Like Denver is like
a
little bit above average.
Yeah,
and then great offense.
But that's what it is now. So I think that I lost my train of thought now. But I think that because of that, there isn't an emphasis on defense, right? It's not as important as it used to be, right? So teams don't care as much, players don't care as much. But if a team like, let's say 2004 Detroit Pistons, right, come in wrecking shit defensively, right? That might usher in a whole new culture of like, hey, we got to win championships. We got to get defensive players. People got to lock in defensively. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, we look at the Minnesota. Defense is still really important because the Minnesota.
I think in general, the players that come in change the evolution of the game. Right? Is what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, but I think you can also change the culture through an individual person or team. Right?
Yeah.
Like the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? They didn't change their team much from last year. They developed. They got a little bit older.
Rudy got healthy.
Right?
But yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the main reason that they're so good this year, Ant took a huge step defensively. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Jaden McDaniels, defensive guy.
Rudy got better defensively.
Rudy locked in more defensively because of the shit that he got last year. With people talking about, he was
injured too a little bit, but yeah,
he was injured. But people were also, the narrative was like he's not that good of a defensive player. He doesn't make an impact defensively, right? Even though his numbers say this, right? Mm-hmm. So he came in, right? Because of that, now You got Cat, who never plays defense,
He's
who's
hurt.
making an effort
Yeah.
defensively. You know what I mean? The culture's changed. Now they're one of the best teams in the league. So that has to trickle down to the rest of the league. You know, someone has to make an effort. The culture has to change where defense has to be a priority. And then, because like I'm telling you right now, right? You're right about defense being an effort thing. Like there's a decent amount of it is effort, right? Because I truly think when you're at this level in the NBA, this level of basketball, you have the IQ. I don't care. The dumbest NBA player has so much more IQ than probably most of college players. You know what I mean? Like to get to that level, you have to have a certain level of IQ.
Well, because of how much stock is in potential, there are some like not very high IQ players in the NBA.
In comparison to other NBA players. But I do think that to get there, you have to have even a baseline level of high IQ, right?
That's what you're saying.
You have to. It's just too hard not to. There's tons of super talented athletes.
You're saying because they've been through the like checks and
Absolutely. You have to be at a certain level. Even like there's dumb IQ guys, we consider dumb IQ guys like a Jordan Crawford and stuff like that, you know? Like Jordan Crawford really could play. But at the end of the day, his IQ was still like if you play with him at Equinox right now, you'd be like, oh, this dude's IQ's out of
so
control.
his physical tools would make it in a sense that the IQ wouldn't even matter though, in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah,
Over,
but
like, the
even
Equinox
even
run.
even the physical, yeah, I get it. But like even if he's playing like at the highest level of Equinox
Right.
run, but even the physical tools, like part of that is still IQ. You know what I mean? Like you still have to have a baseline level of IQ. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, with that said, they all have enough IQ to be good defensive players. Every single one of them. That's why in the playoffs, in the fourth quarter, you see guys who don't play defense who are locking in defensively. You have the ability to do that. You know what I mean? Now, people choose not to expend their energy towards that for most of the game. And I think a lot of that is because just the entire regular season has been diluted. Just the importance of that has been diluted.
And do you think? I think that's part of the reason why the Heat are so good, because they keep that up through the whole regular season.
Because
and
they
don't have to turn on a switch.
Because they have a culture established by a dictator down there named Pat Riley. It doesn't fly. And then they have enforcers on ground level, Haslam. You know what I mean?
Well, their coaching staff is fantastic too, but yeah.
Absolutely.
And
but
their leader
Spo's a little bit of he's not a pushover, but they don't respect him like the way they respect a guy like Haslam and Pat. They all say that in the podcast. They're like, yeah, we just don't want Pat come down. Like we'll do whatever, but if Pat comes down, it's different. You know what I mean? So we just like to have we'll keep it at bay, have him up there in the box seats. You know what I mean? So he just has a different type of energy. That's another reason why LeBron left. You know what I mean?
But also,
LeBron really couldn't get his
their
way.
Their best player now fits them so well in that regard, exactly too.
Well, absolutely. That's why getting a player that also fits that culture plays a part. Like, so like for example, I don't even know if I'll have this on podcast, but my wife has a boss, right? And her boss is just stress personified. Just everything is, deadline, oh my God. It's just so much stress, right? And
anxiety?
I don't know if it's anxiety. I don't know what it is, but first of all, she works in the news. My wife works for MSNBC. So
I know. Yeah.
The news is a stressful place, regardless. You got to get stuff out. Oh my God, this just happened. Breaking news. You know what I mean? Like 2:00 in the morning, we on it. That's just that's how. So news. The news is always on.
So wait, so she always has to work? She has to be up at 2, like checking emails, or?
No, not for the most part. But if breaking news happens, she gotta be on it. Yeah. You know, if some indictment happened with Trump or whatever, like they gotta be on it. She's an editor. She puts stuff that's on the. People go, oh my God, what just happened? Trump did this. I gotta read it. Let me go to MSNBC, my favorite website. It gotta be up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's a stressful place, right? Mm-hmm. And her boss is super, super stressful, right? And that's the culture. And because of that, my wife is stressed from work. And her boss does do a lot though. She handles a ton. So today, it's funny. Her boss is on vacation all week, right? First time she's really worked like a long stretch without her boss, right? And she's the boss now. And she's like, yeah, it's a lot harder with my boss gone. But the environment is so different. Everyone's handling the extra work that we have to do so much better because of the stress freeness of my boss not
Lack
being
of
there.
stress almost.
Yeah. Right? So that's what I mean. Like, your leader is such an indication of what your entire team is going to be. So a culture can be established by a leader and it trickles down to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Steph, the reason that team was even able to do anything is because Steph is a selfless person. Right? And if Steph, Klay shot a bunch of shots today. Klay wasn't giving me the ball, blah, blah. Well, Steph didn't care about it, so I guess I shouldn't care about it.
He has an interesting character, right, in that regard. Like, he's just such like a laid back guy in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He doesn't ruffle the feathers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that allows all of that's why, bro, how many teams every single one of those dudes could have got a max contract somewhere else, get paid big bucks. You know what I mean? And been the star on their team. But because Steph allowed people to shine, none of those dudes left. Bro, that's unprecedented. That doesn't happen. When's that happen? In this era. Like in the old era with Dirk, Kobe, Tim Duncan, that doesn't happen. Will you keep a team, the same players that got drafted?
Feels like there's a chance it could happen in Denver. And the way OKC kind of likes each other.
Jalen Williams, you already said Jalen Williams is gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
He gonna be gone.
He's just gonna be too good.
Yeah, I mean,
but there's a chance he could be better. There's a chance he could be better than Klay.
Yeah, and then look at Michael Porter Jr. might be gone.
You think experience is going to matter for them?
Cooking right now.
You think experience will matter for them in the playoffs and throughout the finals? You think they could win it all with like having hardly any playoff experience?
I do. I think that stuff is less important now in today's basketball than it was in the past.
Because of parity?
Yeah, and I also think that teams nowadays, teams flip-flop so much. Like, back in the day, right, it was like you would see this progression. You'd be like, oh man, the Sacramento Kings have always been bad, and next thing you know, they're the pesky 8 seed. Then they go from a pesky 8 seed to kind of like
or they start
a 4 seed.
It's kind of like Jordan. He lost to the Pistons twice, but you can see he's getting there.
And then and then it's like, oh, they're the 4 seed. Then they're in the Western Conference Finals 2-3 years in a row with the Lakers. It's just like an evolution where it's like you'll see a team that's really good, and then they're gone after,
right.
And then you'll see a team that was really bad, and the next thing you know, they're up there. So I think that because of that, you're not going to see dynasties as much anymore. I just don't think. I think what the Warriors have done.
Denver got a chance. They got to build around the edges a little more, but they have a chance.
I mean,
they got young. They got Jokic and a young supporting cast.
Here's the thing, man. Right? Everyone says that about every team that just won. Like, they said that about Golden State when they won that title. They were like, oh man, everyone was like, they're going to repeat. They're going to, you know what I mean? They said that about the Bucks. Oh, the Bucks, man, this is dynasty to stay, man. Right? That's what people said. No, straight up. These were all, I mean, you might not have said it. Mm-hmm. These are all talking points. They're like, everyone was like coming into the next season. Who do you think's going to win? Oh, the Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to repeat.
I mean, you're in film. That's just an easy topic to come up with once a team wins a championship.
I understand, but it's like that's constant, and people are saying the same thing. You're saying it right now. Everyone's saying Denver's going to win.
Yeah,
if Denver loses this year, right?
Yeah, but I didn't say it about Giannis and the Bucks because I just believe in Jokic more than I did about Giannis back then. Even though I like the Bucks this year.
I mean, yeah, maybe you did, but I mean, there were people that were like, Giannis is the best player in the game. Like, this guy's dominant, and he's only getting better, and he's only 26.
Yeah, there's an argument he's the second best.
What?
There's an argument that he's second best.
I agree. Yeah. So it's like that was the talking point. You might have not believed it, but that was the talking point. People going, 100%. This guy's the best player. I mean, because Jokic wasn't even on the radar. Even though he had won MVP, they were like, oh, this guy's overrated because he can't even get past the second round.
That's like a low-hanging fruit topic, right?
but at the end
Like
of the day,
with the Celtics, if they win it this year, it'd be like, oh, Jason, Jalen are two young stars.
I understand, but they say that with everybody, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's still proven with Denver. Like Denver has to win again. You know what I mean? Like, so people, I can't say that, oh, I believe it more because of Jokic, right? You know, because at the end of the day, like, the Bucks were doing the same thing the next year. They were cruising through it. Everyone had them as the repeats. They were dominant like they were, and then they fell. So they gotta win again. You know what I mean? Like, even if like the Bucks are, the Nuggets are in contention every single year. They go to the finals, but they never win another title. It's not a fucking dynasty.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like for a dynasty, like even if they win, I mean, I guess if you win two back to back, it's a dynasty. I can give you that.
I don't think so because the Pistons aren't considered a dynasty.
I think they are.
I don't think people consider them a dynasty.
Pistons and I think the Rockets people consider dynasties.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if you win back to back is no joke.
No, I know
it's been done like 10 times in the history of the game.
No, I know. I'm not.
Yeah. So
first of all, winning one is very tough.
Yeah, exactly.
That's definitely. But I don't think it's considered a dynasty. Like I think the dynasties in basketball are the original Celtics. Maybe the Celtics, Lakers. You could put them in there. The Bulls, and then the Spurs, and then.
Yeah, I think this is definition, but I do like when you think about great teams. The Rockets are always up there. The Pistons are always up there. Like they're dynastic, and I think that doesn't mean like the tenure. I think it's like the dominance within that time frame. Yeah. So like two chips. Like we never think about the one-offs. You know what I mean? Like no one talks about the one-off championships.
Spurs never won 2 in a row, right?
Spurs never won 2
but
in a
they're
row.
a dynasty.
But they're a dynasty because they won. I mean, 5 in 20 years is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so it's like having 2 in a row, I think you could have a different definition, but I consider it dynastic because
it'll be good for IG clip. We'll see what the people say.
Yeah, no, I mean 2 in a row is
no,
legit.
I know it's tough. I just
it's
don't
legit,
think it's a dynasty.
I mean, I think it's a dynasty. I think the Lakers' second run was dynastic, So
I guess the Lakers and Celtics whole franchise is like a dynasty in a lot of ways. Even though they had their
their second. I think their second run was dynastic. 2 in a row.
Speaking of the Lakers, here's my idea for it looks like the Warriors and Lakers are going to be in the play-in. Like we're running out of time here.
Well, it looks like they're going to be in the 9-10th, so first round.
I think they need to bring it to a new venue and have Steph Curry and LeBron play in front of 100,000 people in a football stadium. What do you think?
I don't understand. I don't know if that's a serious take.
No, that's my take. That's what I think they should do.
Why?
Why not? Because they could probably do it
and fill up the.
You don't think so? With LeBron, like there's a chance that they're not going to even play in the playoffs. One of them,
I mean, like I don't think it's going to fill up a stadium, bro.
But the Spurs and the Warriors filled something up crazy last year. Remember when Steph Curry played they did it in Atlanta for Jordan one year.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know too much about venue filling up. I don't know what numbers are. That's something I don't know. But yeah, maybe I mean, like it's gonna be must see TV either way. You know what I mean? I think like as much as we all hate on these players and some of us love these players, it's coming to an end. And I think of this recent generation, the Steph Curry, LeBron James matchup has been very, very entertaining. And those are two great players from this last era. And that might be the last time that they play at a competitive level because we all know the play-in tournament is like more competitive than the first, second round of the playoffs sometimes, So
Adam Silver did a good job with that.
Yeah, it's a great thing. I mean, I just wish that type of energy could be given to the regular season.
They would have to shorten the season.
Yeah, and they're not going to do that. The problem here, I heard this great take. You know who really should get her job back? It's Rachel Nichols.
Well, she does. She's doing her own thing, yeah.
Yeah, but she should get her job back. That's what I'm saying. because she doesn't have the platform on her own thing that she did on ESPN. Because like you got to really go out and look for Rachel Nichols if you want to hear.
How'd you feel about what she said? Like the reason why she was gone from ESPN?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think I understand why ESPN got rid of her. It makes sense. It's like from like the optics are so bad. Like that's the problem with this internet age, is optics make things look worse than they are, right? And from the optics, big picture, you're just like, oh, she's racist. But like if you really break down what she was saying,
Well, you believe she's racist.
right? I mean, like I don't believe that statement was racist though. You know, like I
Okay.
like you know, she was promised a job, right? That is really important to her, right? It's already hard enough as a woman, you know what I mean? Like in that space, she was promised a job that where she was going to be sideline reporting, whatever, right? I think, and then the George Floyd situation happened, and the NBA was like, "Well, we got to do our part, so let's put a black person there to talk about it," which kind of makes sense, right? But she basically had a conversation about some of the things that the NBA doesn't do to help black people, and this felt like just kind of like a Band-Aid, you know, just to slap someone black in there that's less experienced when they've already given them this opportunity, right? Like, if that's how she feels, she should be able to have a private conversation with somebody about that. She wasn't publicizing it. There was a hot mic. Somebody recorded her, right? Like, that's a fucked up situation. You know what I mean? Like, so, but from the NBA standpoint, they're so pro-black, or they're trying to be so pro-black because it's a predominantly black league. Optics-wise, it looks like she's just racist. And if you side with her, now it tarnishes the whole brand as racist. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So both people really had no choice, you know, like, so kind of sucks. But she said something really poignant. She said that the NBA has no agenda anymore, right? They often are saying things but not operating in that same vein, right? They say that they want the All-Star game to be competitive, right? That's like a huge talking point. But they structure the event to make it not feel competitive. Their biggest priority is brand endorsements during that event because it's like a marketing day. Mm-hmm. So if you have these players do 15 things that are sponsorship endorsements, right? And then you have the game last, that's how they're going to mentally take it. They're not going to prioritize it, right? And it's the same thing with, you know, like owners that say that lobby about, oh man, we're against tarnishing the product by having superstars not play, right? That's fucked up. It's fucked up for the entire NBA, right? What do they do when they go back? They go, oh, don't play him. Save him for the playoffs. Because what they're actually doing is prioritizing a championship. Right. Even though they say out of their mouth that this is wrong, this is bad for because they do believe that. But at the end of the day, if they can figure out a way to win a championship, they're going to do whatever they can. And if part of that is having a guy sit out and rest to have fresh legs, that's how they want to prioritize. That's what they're going to prioritize. So the NBA she said that basically the NBA is saying a bunch of stuff that they want to do, but acting in a different way and not prioritizing those things to make them happen, right? If you truly want defense to be, you know, a focal point, you're doing a lot of things to prioritize offense. You know what I mean? So you have to figure out, like, I think, and she kind of called out Adam Silver without calling out Adam Silver, right? By basically saying, like, you have to strategize a little bit better if you want these certain things to happen, because you cannot operate these two different ways because they're diametrically opposed.
You think part of that, her criticism, is because she feels like she's an outsider now?
No, she's a critic. That's her thing. I think she's one of the women that really isn't like, oh, I'm just trying to not ruffle any feathers and just say what is politically correct. She's always been the type of person makes strong opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that people see it.
Has she always been like that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
That's her. I mean, I always
looked at her as like a person that kind of like keeps the conversation moving. I
think on certain shows she was a moderator.
Right,
often.
exactly.
So
That's where I know her from.
Yeah, but like when she talked about certain things herself, like, she really always had strong opinions.
Even when she was on the bigger platforms.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, that's her thing. I mean, I like her because I feel like she says the things that people think in their mind that they don't often want to say out loud.
Like you.
Yep. I feel like I'm similar. So, and people hate on a lot of people like that. So, people, like, at the end of the day, it's like, these are my thoughts. This is what I think. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to make anybody mad, but people hear, there's so much that is reiterated in our minds that we think is right. And I'm not saying it's right or
conventional
wrong,
wisdom,
I guess, right? And people just say, I guess that's right, because I hear 7-8 people say that. But I'm not saying that what I'm saying is right because it's different. But I'm just saying, listen to what I have to say. I think so much, because of the way we consume media this day, so many people react so emotionally to everything that's said, right? Like,
yeah.
I know I react emotionally, but I listen as well too. You know what I mean?
You act emotionally?
Of course. I'm an emotional person, but I think people respond, and their reaction emotionally has a visceral they have a visual response. And like I was telling my friend about this with movies, right? Most bully, exactly. Right? Most people can't interpret what a good movie is, right?
Isn't that opinion based?
Well, so often people interpret a good movie or a bad movie by how it makes them feel. Like if a great movie comes out about a topic that you feel completely against and it makes you feel upset, right? A lot of people
will say that's a bad movie.
Say it's a bad movie.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like, or sometimes like there'll be a character that's like a wicked, racist bitch or whatever. She's like, an awful person. And you go, oh my God, I fucking hate that girl. I hate that woman, or I hate that actor. I hated that man. That's a fucking great performance. If you truly hate somebody from a performance on TV, that's not who they are in person. And they make you feel something inside where you're pissed. That's fucking great acting.
Yeah.
But often a lot of people cannot distinguish that. They just go, oh my God, this dude said Paul George is overrated. Like, he's my favorite player. I feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying that I think people think he's better than he is because of these certain things.
Yeah, I think that's you doing your job if you're giving them, like, just like the actor, right? If you're getting that kind of reaction out of people, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think in this space, if people are either strongly agreeing with you or strongly disagreeing with you, I think you're doing something right. Like, if there's some kind of indifference, it's probably you're not moving the needle.
Yeah. I mean, someone said this the other day on one of their podcasts, and they were like, let's be honest, man. Like, there's rarely successful podcasts or shows that are just giving you straight basketball, unopinionated things. Like, yeah, you might have a couple people that are a little bit popular or whatever, but they're not moving the huge needle. You come into these shows for someone to give a stark opinion, draw a line in the sand and say, this is how I feel. And that is kind of trickled down into all of American society politically now. That's why Donald Trump is so popular, because he came in and he's like not trying to pander. He's like, all right, you people believe that. I don't care about your vote. This is what I believe. And people go, wow, I've never heard a politician not care, just completely alienate certain people and just be like, I don't care about you. Give me these people. That's how so much stuff is. The most popular people on all of these talk shows, you know who their favorite player is, and you know who they don't like as well too. You know? One of the main reasons Undisputed was so popular is because
LeBron Skip.
LeBron Skip. Shannon is I don't know, he might be LeBron's biggest fan ever. And literally Skip might be LeBron's biggest hater. Right? That's great TV.
And it didn't work, but it should have worked. But
I mean, it did work.
It did work, but
it 100% did work.
They shouldn't have stopped it, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think Shannon, I think what really hurt the show.
Shannon's really good, by the way.
Oh, Shannon's great.
Yeah.
But what really hurt the show was that Shannon's brand was being tarnished as a individual. Right? Like, Skip was really disrespectful in certain ways, right, on screen. And I don't know what the dynamics of the show is, but I know that Skip ushered in this style of debating on TV. He created this, right?
He's on his way out, I think, too.
I hope, right? But he created this with Stephen A. Smith. Like, he was the success of all these shows where people going back and forth is because of Skip Bayless, right? And because of that, he felt some type of ownership to the show, the First Take show. And then ESPN basically was like, well, Stephen A. is the bigger name, and we're going to go with him, and kind of like threw him to the wolves, right?
But he could have stayed if he wanted, right? He just wouldn't have made as much money, I think.
Well, it wasn't even the money, it was the control. Like the certain...
Oh, they gave Stephen A. the control.
Well, it wasn't even that they gave Stephen A. control. It's just that they took away control. They were like, this is how we want it. This is what we want. And Skip was not about that shit. Right? So
he went
a lot of, like, just every single person on ESPN that had some sort of issue with ESPN went to FS1. Because FS1 was like, they were trying to build their channel. So they're like taking everybody from, like, Whitlock, Colin Cowherd, everybody, they all went over there. Right?
Whitlock's on, like, I think he's on
Blaze now, but he did initially go to FS1.
Outkick for a little
then he
bit,
got
right?
kicked out of FS1 too.
And he did Outkick, which is like a conservative sports media company.
But I think that's part of Blaze, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Blaze is like a whole conservative network.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Candace Owens was on Blaze and some other conservative people. Anyways, so like he goes to FS1 and he creates his own contract with way more control, obviously because of what just previously happened at ESPN. And he gets Shannon Sharpe. And I think that was the big issue, the control. And Shannon became a bigger person than him, just like Stephen A. did. But the problem is that I guess Shannon couldn't ruffle the feathers. That's what it seemed like. So
what do you mean by that?
Like, when there were certain things that happened, Shannon really didn't have the ability to, like, be like, hey, I want to make a stink about it because Skip had so much power, probably. So what it did, it made Shannon on screen look weak. You know what I mean? Like Skip basically called him. Like, I don't know if you saw the argument when they were going.
Yeah, so he kind of diminished his football career.
Which
he had a great career.
He goes, you're just mad because you couldn't win like Tom Brady. And then right?
So stupid.
He's like, you're just jealous of Tom Brady. That's what he said because he has more championship. And then Shannon's like, you talking about me like I'm a fucking bum. I'm fucking in the Hall of Fame. I got 3 championships.
So he doesn't look weak there. He's explaining himself.
I understand, but like, it's, he would often say some disrespectful stuff.
Okay.
Right? And there's only so much he could do. And like, the thing about it is, like, yes, in the real world, him explaining himself, yeah, that's enough. There's the black world too. You know what I mean? You got to answer back to the hood. You got to answer back to us. And black people are like, yo, this old motherfucker talking shit to you, calling you out. You letting him? Like, you got to, you know what I mean? Like, so I know, even though from the professional world, absolutely, he handled it exactly the way he's supposed to. But when you go back home and people go, yo, Skip talking shit to you, bro. This is wild. You looking soft out there, you know? Now it's tarnishing his brand. He's a strong, big man, and he got to answer to the white man. That's bad look. You know what I mean? From his culture. So he started making moves to get out. He started the Club Shay Shay thing, all that, and he was like, I gotta get out. You know, like it just was not good for his brand anymore. And he got out at the perfect time. You know.
Yeah.
So, and Skip's Undisputed is looking crazy, bro.
You got Paul Pierce on there now.
I saw that. I was like, has he been on the show yet?
I tried to watch a little.
Has he been on the show yet?
Yeah. Paul Pierce is there.
They let him drink. They gotta let him drink. That's the only way the show's gonna be good.
Strippers too?
They need full Paul Pierce, full truth.
Yeah, some of those clips with him and KG are crazy, right?
Yo, that's KG and Paul Pierce is so funny, bro. Yo, did you see the dog one?
Nah.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Yeah. He a little pup, right?
Yeah, he's like, oh man, what kind of dogs?
KG,
What kind of dogs you talking about?
You know what KG has done though? He's kind of like, and I feel like you almost have to do this in media. He kind of like embraced the role of I'm for the new generation. He embraced that role, if you noticed. Like he's always bigging up this generation. He never calls them soft. He never does none of that. Like that's the role he's embraced.
Nah, they soft.
No, I'm just saying from him.
No, I understand, and like at the end of the day, bro, like you got. Here's the thing, right? If you want to be successful in this world and you want to continue to grow and continue to have relevance, you have to make a strong stake in the youth, right? You have to, right?
Drake does a great job of this.
To connect with young
Drake
people.
with the features, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know, it's the only way, because as you get older and you only connect with older people, they will fizzle out.
You know what's crazy? So Drake kind of was the person that had the Versace song with the Migos, and the Migos are, well, one of them passed, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But they're almost older now, and Drake is still relevant.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yep. I mean, it's like, but that's what the greatest people have done. You know what I mean? They just they tap into younger people because, young people bring life to things. You know what I mean? They bring new perspective as well too. So you have to continue to, I was listening to this podcast and this dude was lamenting about not having kids. And he was like 50 something years old at this
That's
point,
crazy,
right? And he didn't have any kids, and he never wanted.
He's a podcaster?
No, it was someone that was interviewed in a podcast, right?
Okay.
And he was just like,
what kind of podcast was this?
I think it might have been Malcolm Gladwell's podcast, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was something to that effect, right? And the story is about this guy who, he had this godson. Like one of his friends had anointed him the godfather of his child, and he felt guilty that he never lived up to that obligation. He never did anything for the kid.
That's often the case with godfathers, right?
Sure, but but for him, he truly felt that because he got to a point where he was in his late 50s and he was looking around the landscape and seeing that like everybody was old, everybody didn't want to leave the house. His friends were dying, things like that. And he read somewhere that one of the ways to live a more full life is connecting with young people. They keep you younger. Sure. They keep you revived in life, and you will, you'll be so disconnected from society if you only are around older people, because older people are going to die, right? And they have more obligations and blah, blah. You have less time to hang out with them, right? You always want to connect with young people. So he made it a point to go out and try to reestablish this relationship as a godfather to this 24-year-old kid, right? But he was really
sounds like a movie.
It kind of does sound like a movie, but he was really, really working hard, and he really he said it more, he articulated it far more eloquently than I am saying it right now. But it was really beautiful because it was like you know, he was like, yeah, so much of life is through young people, and we forget that. You know, they live such a freeing life, right? Just because they haven't been through so much, so they're less stressed often, right? So when you
In today's society, I don't know if that's true, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
still,
Yeah.
it's only gonna manifest. Stress
Right,
compounds
right,
itself.
right.
So maybe we're all gonna die later on, you know what I mean, of stress, but like you are still less stressed as a young person, right?
Okay.
And so when you live through them and interact with them, it does take away some of your stress as well too, because they live a certain.
You gotta get back on these basketball courts, man. Start hooping with the youngins. You know what I mean?
Nah, they stress me the fuck out. They stress me the fuck out.
So-
Them motherfuckers don't pass. Them motherfuckers don't care about nothing. Like,
Well, I mean, you got to teach them.
yeah, nah, they don't want to hear that. That's another thing. They don't want to. Yo, I don't know. Did you do this when you were younger? When I was young, right? And I played against an older guy. Like I would pick up ball. And I played against an older guy, and I could tell he hooped somewhere. Like he played in college, probably. Like he was nice. I'd pick his brain, like, yo, man, can you show me
nah, but-
what you know, like, what can you tell me what about my game I got to work
Nah,
on, blah, blah, blah?
the kids do that to me now, though. They try and pick my brain.
Is
a
it
lot.
because you're a coach or just playing pickup?
No, playing
somewhere?
pickup. But they kind of
Where?
know who I am and what I do. But
Okay,
that's
well,
part
that's
of it.
different.
Yeah.
That's different. That,
But
you know, obviously-
they definitely want information. But I would say a lot of them will just want the shortcuts.
yeah, but
You know what I
if
mean? It's not-
But
it's-
you like a basketball person. Like obviously they're gonna ask that. You know what I mean? If you were some regular motherfucker on the street, man, like kids these days are disrespectful to old people. Like we grew up. I don't know. Back in my day, we grew up old people. You just revered them.
Well, how about
Like I the other day.
how
Man,
about the
this-
basketball? You didn't talk shit to the older people on the basketball court when you were
Nah,
young?
I didn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
did.
but I grew
did.
up. I'm African, so like
I did.
we have our culture is like you kneel to anyone older than you. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? So it's like a completely different culture. So like I just
Gotcha.
never, even if a older person did something disrespectful, I just never just said anything bad to them. But now these kids these days, bro, I remember like this old dude, right? He's probably in his 50s, maybe, 50s, right? Nice guy. You know, he don't even shoot that much. He went to the basket, maybe he missed the layup. Maybe he didn't get fouled, but he called a foul, man. Let the man live, man. He don't even call fouls like that. This 18-year-old kid's like, man, you a pussy, man. You a pussy, motherfucker. This is a 60-year-old man. I was
You just went from 50 to 60. Though.
50. No, he was in his mid-50s going on 60. Right? Like an older dude. Like clearly older.
These kids are crazy.
These kids was wild. This kid was like 18 years old. He called this 60-year-old dude a pussy. Bro, I was dead, bro. I was like, damn, these kids don't give a fuck no more, bro. These kids don't give a damn, boy.
But like, yeah, man.
Yeah, I was like, dog, it wasn't even like he was like arguing about the call. He called one foul. Maybe he didn't. Maybe you didn't really hit his arm. This motherfucker, yo, he chewed up his face. It's like, man, you a pussy, man. Pussy ass motherfucker. I was like, damn. Yo.
Yeah, nah, I definitely wouldn't have said that
Yeah.
as a kid. But I did used to like talk basketball trash to the older people all the time when I was younger. But nothing like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean that's how how these
crazy.
kids are these days, bro. It was wild.
and he
Duh.
was dead serious.
Dead serious, yo. And the dude and the old dude, he bowed down after that. He was like, "Oh man, all right, fine, man, whatever, man, check it out." Like,
Really?
he was a nice guy. It wasn't like he was like an OG, like he was just a nice guy, just trying to get a run.
Yeah, he talks to the
He was
wrong.
a family man.
That's to the wrong dude.
He was a family guy, bro. He wasn't trying to do nothing. Called him a pussy twice. Damn, bro.
Did you bring some rapid fire?
Oh yeah. But I only
you
did
did?
5 because I think you sent me. You said you said 5 initially, and then I saw the email and said 10.
Yeah, 5 is fine. I'll do 5 too. You want to go first, or I'll go first?
Sure, you can go first.
All right. Best athlete in sports.
Yeah, I saw that you posted Ant, which is a crazy fucking thing to say. I was gonna say something, but I wasn't ready to
So
argue.
here you go.
No, best athlete in sports.
Oh, you see me post that in the comment section
I
somewhere.
saw you posted in the comment
Yeah.
section, and I was like, I didn't want. I was gonna respond, but I was like, I ain't got time to argue with this dude right now.
Yeah, you got to argue with him on Thursday. That's why.
I don't know. I have to check, but it's definitely got to be an NFL player. So
Fact or fiction? Team USA goes undefeated.
fiction.
Word this summer with LeBron, Steph, KD. Word.
Yeah, they're not undefeated. Come on, bro. The world is too good, bro. Like, I get it. LeBron and Steph, they can't make their fucking teams win right now in the fucking NBA. How they clearly, I get it. They're still great players, but their individual impact is not the same as it used to be anymore.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose a few games or they lose a game, but the vitriol, you said it with, like, you were so confident that
Yeah. There's no way they're going undefeated. No way. I would bet money.
So you'd be surprised if they go undefeated.
I'd be very surprised if they went undefeated.
Like, I could see it go.
I can see them winning.
I could see it going either way.
I can see them winning, but I'd be very, very shocked if they swept the competition.
Okay.
There's just too much world talent.
Okay.
Way too much world talent, bro.
Vince or T-Mac?
In terms of what?
There it is.
Basketball player?
Vince or T-Mac. That's. So you
That's
could take
really,
it how you want
really
it.
tough. Like,
how you interpret
peak?
it. How you interpret it.
Yeah, it's really tough because, like, if it's peak, it's T-Mac. Clearly, T-Mac was a better player at a peak, but you have to give it to Vince because of his longevity. T-Mac wasn't able to sustain long enough to be considered better than Vince, in my opinion. But, yeah, T-Mac's peak.
Better chance to make a deep playoff push. Golden State or Lakers?
At this point, I'm going to say the Lakers, just because I think their brand of basketball fits the playoff grind more than the Golden State's non-existent brand right now. So
There it is, 5.
okay.
You got yours?
Yeah. What did I don't even remember what I wrote. Luka or Prime Harden?
Luka. Luka right now he's just better. That's it. That's what I got for you. Prime Harden was tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I think when you straight look at it, you're like, oh, Luka, oh, absolutely. I think we forget. Like, I forget sometimes how good Prime Harden was. I remember when I watched Prime Harden, I remember saying this. I'm like, he might be the greatest offensive weapon to ever play the game. At a certain point, it was a step back three, a floater, or almost a flat foot layup.
Or a lob to Clint. Yeah.
Like, literally, you could book it for one of those four things.
It was so tough.
It was so surgical. I had never seen anything like that. I was like, bro, I remember I used to tell people, I have never seen James Harden double clutch a layup because he cooks defenders so badly that he's basically shooting flat-footed layups.
Yeah.
It was so crazy.
But that's also knowing when not to go because the help's there. His IQ is on another level.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that it's Harden, but I think sometimes we forget how crazy he was at his peak.
And when you watch, and I saw him once in person versus the Knicks, it was so easy. He
Bro,
drops a 50.
that's what I'm saying.
Easy.
So easy. It was literally a step back, floater, alley-oop to Capella, or a left-handed layup on the left side. It was like, I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
So I never said he was the best offensive player, but I was like, he might have been the greatest offensive weapon. It was so potent at that point. Nobody could figure out a way to do anything with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I'm
Except
not.
in the playoffs.
Nah, yeah, I think he was great. I just got Luka.
Okay. Is LeBron's legacy getting worse or better with longevity?
Better.
More years without winning a chip. I'll tell you that. More years without getting it done. More playoff potential not making the playoffs because he might not make the playoffs this year. Again.
I'll tell you one thing. That's a good clip for IG.
Okay. All right. Silver or Stern?
I don't know what that. Oh, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like some kind of money or something? Man, that's tough. Man, that's tough.
Not for me.
I gotta go silver.
We done with Silver. We done with
I'm not
Silver.
mad at you though. I'm not mad at you at all.
I can't. Silver doesn't seem like he's got the
You know
ship.
what?
He's not steering the ship.
I
right.
would figure you as a silver guy because you're more progressive.
I am more progressive, but I'm a pretty regimented individual, and it seems like
I'm not mad at
it
that.
seems like Silver. It just is not like I.
You think silver
he's more
can get
progressive.
walked over?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not mad
he
at
does.
that. I do like some of the decisions he made with the in-season tournament. Like I like kind of like he got. Some,
I think he's
he
I
got
think,
some good stuff. But
yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
Does defense really matter anymore to the public eye? Yeah, I think you've already answered this today. So
No, but I mean to a casual fan maybe not. But I think if you really love basketball, like you want to see defense.
I don't think you really love basketball then.
That's a good.
I'm pretty sure you really don't love basketball.
If you have more, I'm down. Are you done? You have more?
That's 4. I got one
Oh,
more.
I thought okay, I'm ready.
Is LeBron really on Balco?
I don't know, bro.
You know that. Put it on the screen, bro. Put it on the screen, man. Tell the camera, man. You know. What do you think? Do you think he's on it?
Do I think LeBron is on it? You know what? If I had to guess, I'd probably say he took some kind of performance-enhancing drug at some point.
Absolutely.
I don't know exactly what, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that have.
I agree.
And also, I'm not
Tom
sure.
Brady has, they all have.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And also, and one last thing, I don't think it's. I think there's a world where it shouldn't be condemned.
Yeah, it has to be condemned unless
Why?
Unless you open the field for everybody because it really is cheating. Because if LeBron had the ability to play longer to beat Kareem's record because of the sports enhancement drugs he's taking, and Kareem didn't have that back in the day, it's not really LeBron's record then. You know what I mean? Because he's cheating to get it. Now, if you open up the field and let everybody be able to cheat, then yes, absolutely. That's what it comes down to. But if certain players are doing it and certain players aren't, yeah, you're cheating. That's just what it comes down to. It's not a level playing field. You know, I don't know if everyone's doing it. Maybe I'm not in the NBA, but I know that people are doing it. You know what I mean? I know for a fact Tom Brady, I'm sure he's doing it. A lot of these guys, especially at the end of their careers, they do everything that they can to do it. I'm sure Steve Nash was talking about, he didn't directly say it, but he's like, man, I was taking everything I could possibly take that was legal to keep me in the NBA, you know? And he had talked about, he's like, I remember when I was 26, 27, I was like, 31, I'm done. 31, 32, I'm done. And then I got to that point, and I was like, oh my God, I want to play. You know, I started winning MVPs around that time. And then by the time, he said, I told myself I never wanted to be these 40-year-olds that are trying to hang on. And that's exactly what he ended up being.
It's crazy.
With the
Lakers, remember that?
With the Lakers. And he's like, bro, I'd fly to Germany. He's like, just to get infusions. But
he was actually good with the Lakers when he actually played, right? Not really.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like he wasn't Steve Nash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't Steve Nash. Because I watched the Lakers and I was super excited when he came in.
Was he better than Gary Payton when he actually played?
Probably at that same level.
Okay.
It was maybe even Gary Payton was more impactful because of the defensive stuff that he could do. It just didn't work with Kobe. That's the thing. Kobe needed the ball. Kobe, that team, man, that team.
But they got along well, right?
What?
They got along.
Oh yeah, they definitely got along well. Yeah. The problem is that team just didn't fit, bro. They were Dwight Howard was injured that whole year as well too. Steve Nash was injured that whole year. Bro, they were everyone was thinking they were going to win a title. The Lakers just won a title 2 years before that, right? And now they got Dwight Howard and Steve Nash, and they kept Pau Gasol. So everyone was like, "Oh my God!" And then those two Dwight Howard, Steve Nash were injured all year. The Lakers were awful, and they almost didn't make the playoffs. And then Kobe has to go fucking nuclear and break the whole offense. It was like, fuck that, Phil Jackson. I don't care. I'm shooting every fucking shot. I'm making us. We have to. At the very least, we just got to get in the playoffs so we can figure out what we can do during the playoffs.
Right.
And he started playing 40-something minutes a game as a 35-year-old.
Yeah.
And they needed that last win against Golden State that year to fucking make the playoffs. It was, if they lost that game, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. They needed to beat Golden State. They were down like 15 going into the fourth. Kobe goes crazy in the fourth quarter, brings them back, and to put them up, he drives to the basket, pops his Achilles, and then hits fucking 2 free throws
Prime
to
Kobe
put
or
up.
Prime Bird?
Come on, we already talked about this. You know, come on, man.